Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. And after the CDL's mistaken version 1.0 rule set, the pros have not been happy about this turn of event at all, threatening if necessary to change the maps on their own to get what they actually desire out of this particular rule set. But Slasher says the other situation may be occurring with regard to the red dots, with pros for some reason accepting they're not going to get them this year. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. It was what, 7 years ago yesterday the Black Ops 3 came out. Down. We need a game like that back, there is no doubt about it. Now this a big update with regard to next year's Call of Duty title. Activision's new financial release confirms there's what they are describing as a new full premium release in the blockbuster annual series in 2023. So describing the fact that next year there's going to be a full premium release. The initial discussion on this was that, oh wow, they're going to do another COD game, because their thoughts were that, okay, this year's a 2-year cycle, right? Modern Warfare 2 is going to last until 2024, then Treyarch do a game, then maybe Advanced Warfare 2 comes out, or maybe it doesn't, right? Who knows? Like, obviously still a rumor for now. But the idea they're doing a new COD game next year was like, oh damn, here we go again, right? They baited us all with this 2-year thing, and now they're going to drop a new COD game anyway because they can't escape that $70 paycheck that they get from everyone every single year. Now, apparently what this is not a new COD game, but instead a new map pack, an expansion pack, effectively. So Jason Schreier says, let's make this super clear. The next game is coming out in 2024. Next year, there will be a Modern Warfare 2 premium expansion by Sledgehammer. So I guess Sledgehammer are now just the support studio for Infinity Ward. It's supposed to have lots of content. Maybe that's why they call it a full release, but it's more Modern Warfare 2. So, you know, look, they've got to release an awful lot of stuff next year to make it desirable for a $70 price tag. If they want to charge the premium release next season, which is effectively just an extra download for Modern Warfare 2, they want to charge that for the full release, they're going to have to do some incredible stuff to make that viable. It will mean, of course, there will be loads more maps arriving next year, and it makes sense from Activision's perspective. They don't want to let go that massive revenue stream every single year they get. They sold like $1 billion worth of this game in the first 10 days. Like, they're not going to want to give up on that source of revenue for next season, so their strategy instead is to sell a big additional release next season, so, you know, on top of the normal game. Now, whether that's viable or not, maybe it costs the same, maybe it costs less, I don't know. What it does mean is a load of the things that we might get throughout this life cycle in the next 12 months or so will be saved for that premium release. I imagine all the Modern Warfare 2 maps, for example, the original ones, will come in that full release. They'll get people really excited about it, all this type of stuff. And it's frustrating for me because I'm sure that Terminal is in the game. I'm sure that High Rise is in the game as well. We've actually seen yesterday even that it's got disabled because Activision striked it down or whatever. But a High Rise was spotted actually in the game and existing right now in the game. But yet, they don't put it in the game yet, right? And that could be a map that would be viable potentially for competitive. It was played as Skyrise back in Advanced Warfare as a DLC map, but yet probably all these additional maps, they will wait for that next year's map pack download thing that they're going to charge a massive amount of money for, and then it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. So look, year 2 of this game could be really cool with all the maps they're going to add in, but these next few months might be a real struggle, especially if the map set and hotel and stuff gets removed, as some have theorized, right? And of course we saw the map set drama earlier today, and it's not exactly gone away. Quick note here just on the rumors, right? We saw the other day this team Exceed & Co won the Breaker Boy next tourney. Joe Deceives Assault, Exceed and Diamond Con. Rumor has it they're going to be the Los Angeles Guerrillas Academy, effectively. Joe Deceives, we think, is going to be their sub. Whether another one of these guys is also their official substitute, or whether it's just basically an academy roster and they have like academy contracts or however that works. But again, Nero and even Panda have basically described this team as the LOG Academy. So that is what is expected to be confirmed over the coming days. Let's talk about some of the issues in this game then, because the pros are getting deeply frustrated with it now. Some of them, though, may have just accepted their fate. And look at this from poor Doug Sensor Martin, man. Here he is in Embassy, gets this 1 kill, gets traded out, spawns in, immediately dies about, what, 2-3 seconds after he spawns, gets shot in the back here. So yeah, spawns up, 2-3 seconds, gets shot in the back, and then again, he spawns up for the next time on the complete other side of the map, spawns up, tries to go up a ladder here, and then just gets knifed in the back immediately. So yeah, I guess Embassy in a nutshell at the moment. Like, that's how the spawns tend to work. We saw this earlier today, the maps and modes confirmed, the wrong maps and modes. No hotel, the search and destroy map set was initially wrong, Farm 18 wasn't meant to be there, the control map set was completely wrong with almost entirely the wrong maps. But the initial impression was from Clayster and Tempe, they were discussing this, right? Because they were like, hang on a second, Farm 18 search and destroy map, what's going on here? That's not what we discussed with the CDL. And Clay said, well, actually, he doesn't even reckon that was the real map set. He reckons that was the Challengers map set, which, as it turned out, wasn't necessarily the case, right? Because they changed it for the Challengers and the Pros based on feedback and stuff in the first few hours. So clearly this was meant to be the map set for both, you know, the pros and the amateur players. The question is, to me, would the pros be able to effectively GA a map, right? Like if they said, look, CDL, you've got this wrong. This map set is not correct. We're not playing on it for our gameplay. Like, you know, would they be able to GA a map? Is that even possible, right? I guess it is possible with map vetoes and stuff. Like, let's say Hydro or something, they don't want to play it. Like, you know, they could agree between them, I guess, as a gentleman's agreement that every series, someone will just ban that map in the vetoes, right? I don't know exactly how this would go, but clearly the pros are thinking, you know what, if this goes badly wrong in terms of the rule sets, like, we might have to take some evasive action here.
Wait, Farm S&D is in?
No, it's just a challenge, bro. It's just
don't look at that Pee-wee rule set, bro.
That's not what we're playing.
That Pee-wee rule set, dude. You're in the big leagues now.
That's AIDS.
The big leagues now, my boy.
Now, the other key part of this is actually the rule set itself, right? Not just the map set, but the rules and the amount of health that the weapons have, or the players have, and the damage that the weapons do, this type of stuff. Now, Hitch last night, of course, we saw earlier today, ran that $60,000 Pro Sim Invitational tourney, and the feedback from many pro players was that, yes, 130 health, yes, when you watch it, it doesn't look dramatically different, but it does definitely make the gameplay better with that increased health numbers. So, as Hitch said, right, the Zoom Hitch rule set or whatever, and he, I think, DM'd him the full rule set for what they're currently playing with, and I think Slasher said there maybe is a chance to try it out in 8, right, as he says here. Getting pro teams to scrim with that rule set is probably not going to happen, but you could maybe do it in 8. So, you know, we also saw last night Crimsix and Co, they came second in last night's tourney, so Rain, Asim, Futives, Pomage and Crim, they came second in that tourney, and as he says, can't believe there isn't a physical way to change and put red dots on the minimap. That's a key complaint that we'll see more of in a second, but Crim also reckons 130 health is a must. So yeah, definitely interesting perspectives here. We saw the rule set earlier today was a disaster. If you go into the details on the website, you can see all the actual settings and what they should be on for the official rule set, and you'll still see in there that health is on 100, normal health, as we might expect. But the pros seem to have a good idea now, and certainly Crim believes, and others I think believe as well, that 130 health is the way to go. You do want to up their health here for competitive settings to make the gameplay better. Whether they'll do that, I doubt it. I don't really think that's going to happen, but the red dots have also been a big question as well, because obviously all the pros really want is 130 health and the red dots on the minimap, and also dead silence as a perk, and this type of stuff would be nice as well. And obviously the whole point of the CDL to some degree was that the CDL has more weight in the decision making of the developers, such that if we say, yo, we want this, we want that, we can go and speak to Mr. Joe Seacott and the Infinity Ward guys, and they would deliver the goods for us. Turns out that hasn't been the case, right? And that's the key frustration for many pro players right now. Like, even as Spinner Spence says right here, the rule set will be changing and this type of stuff, and it goes on to say in the reply, so people talking about headshot multipliers, right? You know, tone down the headshot multiplier in competitive settings, and as he says, features are built into the game. The CDL can't change everything about the game, kind of implying to me that either they've been told or something that there's certain things that have to stay the same for the CDL, because, look, at the end of the day, they want the casual experience probably to be pretty similar to what people might see in the competitive side, even though really, it's about creating the best game from a competitive perspective, in my opinion. But are the CDL getting told, like, hey, yeah, you can't turn down the headshot multiplier because we want it to be the same across both? I don't really know, but clearly they are not willing to change everything to suit what the pros want. They're preferring to keep certain things the way they are in the normal game, either because that makes more sense for them or just because they're getting told that's what they have to do, even though I thought the whole point of the CDL was for it to be the other way around, but clearly not. And even as Parasite says, here's the following: pros really about to just play without red dots on the minimap this year. That's one of the key complaints, and of course in an ideal world they can add a proper setting into the game like there was in the beta to just make the minimap work normally. Like, how hard actually is it? The option was in the game before, it's now not in the game now. It clearly, seemingly, was removed intentionally by the developers to spite whoever. I don't really understand it, but it's gone. The pros obviously want it back, but yet can't seemingly get it back for whatever reason, because maybe they're just going to accept their fate at this point. Slasher says in the replies, they will do whatever they are told. So yes, so Slasher kind of calling out his colleagues here maybe, because clearly the pros have been told, yeah, that's how it's going to be, the rule set is this, the CDL, we can't change it, sorry lads, like it is what it is, you just got to crack on with it. And I've said it a couple of times already, but here we are in year 4 of the CDL that was meant to kind of bring more parity here and give the competitive scene a little bit more leverage in how the game is actually played, and it's, if anything, gone the other way over the last few years. But Slasher is basically calling people out and saying, yeah, they're just going to sit down and take it, right? And Slasher and others maybe are pushing pretty hard to say, look, CDL, just put in a word for Seacott Boycott and the boys, like, just give us this setting in custom games. How hard can it be to give us the setting? But apparently the pros are just going to sit there and accept it. And as Parasite says, couldn't be me. Some of us were born with the spine, I guess, effectively implying that, yeah, these guys, spineless pros, are happy to accept no red dots on the minimap, right? So yeah, what do you guys think about this? It's obviously a really difficult situation right now for everyone involved. And actually, well, Crim gets this final kill, but Zinni gets absolutely tucked right to. But look how quickly he dies. Like, he must have been weak or something, right? There's no way this is 130 health, and he's getting killed in 2 bullets by this AK thing, whatever it is. One of the many AK type weapons in this game, to be honest. But interesting to hear the kind of differing perspectives there. There's kind of the implication that the pros might go rogue at some point, and if they're not happy with the map set, they'll do what it takes and GA XYZ or whatever. But at the end of the day, if the CDL rules are built into the game, they don't set up the lobbies for the competitive scene. You know, they join the lobby for the CDL, and they don't set up the settings. If they did, they could choose their own rule set, technically, and play their own maps. Unfortunately, the lobby host, the referee or whatever, he sets up the lobby and with the settings in the CDL modes, so, you know, they can't really do much about that, right? But theoretically, or clearly the boycott, not exactly a boycott, but clearly the backlash worked for the CDL to change their tune on the map sets. So why couldn't the backlash work to get a minimap added to the game as well? But clearly Slasher reckons some pros aren't so willing to do that for whatever reason. Even as Bance says here, just to let everyone know, the rep chat for Gentleman's Agreement is 10 ARs and 2 SMGs. So pretty interesting stuff. He reckons the SMGs are going to get screwed over here by these decision-making points, even though theoretically the rep should be acting in the best interest of their entire team, not just themselves individually, but doesn't always go that way. Just to mention as well, because I know there was some drama about this, Clayster organised some 8s the other day with all the pros, got everyone in, ready to go, and you'd think that if you were organising the situation, it would be a guarantee that, like, he would get picked, right? Look, he got everyone in the lobby, he's the man who set it all up, so surely he should be a captain, he should be the first guy in to choose his team. That seems only fair. This has happened in the past with Parasite and other players as well, where they organise it, they get everything together, and then they just choose teams and they don't get picked in the first place. And I believe Slasher was picked over Clayster here, so yeah, this guy was absolutely frying Clay has been lately, and yet he organises 8 and then doesn't even get picked for his own 8 session. So thought that would, like, the pros, I don't know, I think they've got to think about that, because to me that's pretty unfair on Clay and others who have situated in that position in the past as well. And as Sasha says, AG had to pick me, bro, he didn't want to suffer the consequences IRL. But yeah, kind of feel bad for Clay about that one, but he's still frying, so I guess he'll take that at the end of the day. Quick note as well to close out the video here from Jacob Hale on rumoured CDL Major 1 seedings going into the Pro-Am. So kind of similar to what we have seen before, but this apparently is what's going to happen here. So the number 1 team at number 8 and number 9 from the initial matches. So there's 4 qualification matches done at the start of December for each CDL team. And then the best challengers team then comes through from whatever kind of quali tournament they do before then. So CDL's best team comes in here with the 8th, 9th and 4th challenger team. The best challenger team comes in with the 4th, 5th best CDL team plus the 12th best CDL team as well, based on those initial qualifiers. So always going to be a good fun here. Group D, with whichever team goes 0 in 4 with the worst map count in the qualifiers gets put up against the best challenger team, and then we really get to see what's cooking here with the Pro-Am. So exciting stuff. This probably makes sense, but this kind of aligned, I think, with what we have seen in the past as well. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Just to mention this quickly, most championships in Call of Duties with specialists in Black Ops 3 Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 4, great games, not just because they had specialists in, but it was a pretty cool feature as well at the time. Scump, Formal, Crim, Karma, the OpTic Dynasty just dominated that era, right? Crazy to think about really over those 3 titles. These guys were just winning 10 events when no one else could win more than 4. Octane, Slash, Arcitys, Pristini, Slacked, even Classic and John making the rest of the list. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.